Listen to me today, you've been holding back for far too long. You've been questioning whether you have what it takes, whether you're capable, whether you should take that leap. Well, I'm here to tell you something right now. You've been given everything you need to soar. You just have to trust your wings. Faith is the force that propels you forward when the path is unclear. It's the belief in something greater than what you can see, a power greater than what you can control. Faith doesn't require evidence, it thrives in the unseen. It's the trust you place in what you can't touch, can't hear, can't even explain, but you know it's real. Faith is the fuel that turns ordinary steps into extraordinary progress. It's not the absence of fear, it's the courage to move in spite of it. When life gets tough, faith is the voice that whispers you can keep going. It's the quiet knowing in your spirit that no matter what you're facing, there's a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. Faith allows you to see beyond the obstacle in front of you and into the potential that lies ahead. It's what helps you keep your eyes on the horizon even when you can't see the way through. It's the belief that your current circumstances are not your final destination, that there's more waiting for you if you don't give up. Faith is what keeps you standing when the world is telling you to sit down. It's what makes you keep dreaming when others are trying to convince you that you're crazy. It's what makes you hold on to hope when everything around you seems hopeless. Faith is not passive. It doesn't sit quietly waiting for things to change. It moves you to act, to step out, to reach higher, to believe bigger. It's easy to have faith when everything is going right, when the sun is shining and the winds are at your back. But true faith is built in the storms. It's in those dark moments when you feel like giving up that faith reveals its power. Faith says, even in this I will rise. Even in the fire, I will not be consumed. Faith doesn't always make sense. It's not always logical or predictable. It stretches you. It pushes you to go further than you ever thought possible. And sometimes it makes you walk on water. But the beauty of faith is that it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to be trusted. Faith is your assurance that no matter how rough the journey gets, the destination is worth it. It's the confidence in knowing that every setback is just a setup for a comeback. When you trust in your wings, you are trusting that faith will carry you higher than you could ever imagine. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it head on. It's the quiet strength that rises up within you when everything in your mind is telling you to back down. Courage is that inner voice that says, even though I'm scared, I will not turn away. It's the ability to move forward, not because the road is clear, but because you know deep down that the destination is worth the struggle. Courage doesn't ask for guarantees, it moves in the face of uncertainty, trusting that every step will lead to something greater. Courage is the warrior's heart in the middle of the battle, standing tall, even when the odds are stacked against you. It's the ability to keep pushing when the storm rages, when doubt tries to creep in, and when the world tells you it's easier to quit. Courage says, I will not be ruled by my fear. I will rise us in the moments where you feel like you're walking alone, when no one else believes in your dream, and yet you still take that next step into the unknown. It's easy to be courageous when the path is clear and the winds are calm. But true courage shines brightest in the face of adversity. Courage is the force that drives you to act, even when you can't see the entire picture. It doesn't demand perfection, it demands action. It's the willingness to trust that your ability to rise will grow as you move forward, even when you don't have all the answers. Courage is the muscle you build in your moments of doubt, the strength you forge when the world tries to break you. It's the choice to keep moving when every part of you wants to turn back. It's standing tall in the face of rejection, pushing through the pain of failure, and continuing to believe in your own potential, even when others have given up on you. Courage is the foundation upon which transformation is built. It's what allows you to turn fear into fuel, doubt into determination, and obstacles into opportunities. Courage doesn't wait for the storm to pass. It learns to dance in the rain. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It thrives in imperfection. It is the fire that refuses to be extinguished by the winds of negativity or the waters of defeat. Courage says, I may not have all the answers, but I will make a way. I will not let fear define me. Destiny is not a distant dream you only imagine in the quiet moments of your life. It's not something that happens to you by chance, nor is it a prize waiting at the end of an effortless journey. Destiny is a force that's been woven into the very fabric of who you are, a path that's been uniquely designed just for you, even before you knew it existed. It's the pull that draws you toward your purpose, calling you to step into something greater than you ever thought possible. Destiny doesn't always announce itself in grand gestures or thunderous voices. Sometimes it's the quiet whisper that keeps nudging you to keep going, to keep pushing, even when it seems like no one else understands. It's the ache in your soul, the deep, unshakable knowing that there's something more for you. Destiny is the calling that comes to you in the silence of your heart, telling you that you were made for greatness, not just for survival, not just to exist, but to live out your full potential. But destiny isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It requires action, decision, and often sacrifice. It demands you to show up, to be present, and to fight through the obstacles that stand in your way. Destiny doesn't take you around the storms. It equips you to face them head on. It challenges you to grow in ways you didn't think possible, to stretch your limits, to rise above your circumstances. Destiny doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It works through the imperfect moments, the challenges, and even the failures. Your destiny is not determined by your past. It's shaped by your choices today. It's not defined by the limitations others place on you or by the mistakes you've made. Destiny is about the vision you carry for your life, and it's a vision that only you can fully realize. It's about taking everything you've been through, every hardship, every victory, and using it to fuel your journey forward. Destiny will push you, mold you, and refine you, but it's yours to claim. It's the truth that no matter how many times you stumble or fall, it will always be there, urging you to rise again. Destiny doesn't ask you to be perfect, it asks you to be persistent. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to rise every time you fall. And there's a beauty in that rise, because each time you rise, you're one step closer to the life you were meant to live. Your destiny is not something that happens to you, it's something you're called to create. And it's not a straight line, it's a journey full of twists, turns, detours, and discoveries. But through it all, destiny remains clear. You were made for something bigger, something beyond what you can currently see, and it's waiting for you to claim it. To overcome is to rise above the limitations and challenges that try to hold you down. It is the strength to face your giants, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to push forward when the world seems to be pushing back. Overcoming isn't about avoiding struggle, it's about embracing the struggle, knowing that through it you are being made stronger. It's about understanding that every obstacle is not a roadblock, but an opportunity for growth. Every challenge you face is a lesson. Every setback a setup for a comeback. Overcoming is a process, not a destination. It's not about reaching a point where everything becomes easy. It's about learning to thrive in the midst of difficulty. It's finding the courage to keep moving even when the path is unclear, when doubt creeps in, and when the weight of the world feels unbearable. To overcome means you refuse to be defined by your struggles, but instead you use them as stepping stones to reach higher. It's easy to believe that the battles are too much when you're in the midst of them, when the pain is fresh and the weight is heavy. But the truth is that overcoming is not the absence of pain. It is the willingness to keep going despite it. It's understanding that there's strength in your struggle, power in your persistence, and resilience in your refusal to give up. The mountain you think is too high is only an illusion. It's not the size of the challenge that matters, but the size of your determination to keep climbing. When you overcome, you don't just get past the obstacle, you transform. Each victory, no matter how small, shifts you closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. You learn more about your own strength, about your capacity to rise. You begin to see that the very things you thought would break you were the things that ultimately made you whole. Overcoming means changing the narrative that says you can't into one that says you can. It's refusing to stay where you are, no matter how comfortable or familiar the pain has become. It's saying, I will not be defeated. I will not be held down by my past. I will rise, and I will keep rising no matter what. The act of overcoming is a declaration of your inner strength, your ability to adapt, and your refusal to let anything stop you from moving toward your purpose. It's important to remember that overcoming doesn't always look the way you expect it to. Sometimes it's not about winning the battle outright, it's about enduring. Sometimes overcoming is simply getting back up after you've fallen, dusting yourself off, and trying again. It's about learning to be patient with yourself, understanding that the journey is long and that overcoming is not about perfection, it's about progress. Transformation is the process of becoming something new, something better, something you didn't think was possible. It's not a simple change, it's a complete metamorphosis. It's when the person you once were sheds their old skin and steps into a version of themselves that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. Transformation begins deep within, in the quiet moments when you decide that who you are today is not who you're meant to be tomorrow. It's the choice to evolve, to stretch beyond your limitations, and to step into the fullness of your potential. Transformation is often uncomfortable. It requires you to break free from the constraints of your old habits, your past beliefs, and your self-imposed limitations. It forces you to face the truths you've been avoiding, to confront the parts of yourself you'd rather keep hidden. It's the willingness to look at the things that no longer serve you and let them go, knowing that growth requires you to leave behind what is familiar and step into the unknown. Transformation isn't about changing who you are at your core. It's about uncovering who you've always been, buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, and old wounds. The process of transformation is gradual. It doesn't happen overnight, and it often comes with struggles and setbacks. You may not even recognize the changes as they're happening, but the truth is, every challenge you face, every lesson you learn is a piece of the puzzle. It's the fire that refines you, the pressure that creates the diamond. Transformation doesn't come from ease, it comes from adversity. It's in the difficult moments that you are shaped, molded, and redefined. The struggle is not a sign of failure, but a sign that you are in the process of becoming. As you transform, you begin to shed old identities that were never truly yours. The labels others placed on you, the limitations you accepted as truths, the self-doubt that held you back, all of that begins to dissolve. And in its place, a new sense of self emerges. You begin to walk with more confidence, speak with more authority, and act with a greater sense of purpose. Transformation is not just about external changes, it's about an internal shift. It's the rewiring of your mindset, the renewing of your spirit. It's a rebirth of who you are, both inside and out. Transformation also requires courage. It demands that you take risks, that you embrace uncertainty, and that you trust the process. It asks you to let go of who you were in order to make room for who you are becoming. It can feel like stepping into the unknown, and sometimes it may seem like you're losing parts of yourself along the way. But in reality, you're only shedding the pieces that no longer align with your purpose. Transformation is the process of aligning your life with your highest calling, of living authentically and unapologetically. There is power in transformation because it's a reminder that nothing is permanent, not your struggles, not your failures, and not your current limitations. Change is inevitable, and the power lies in choosing how you respond to it. Transformation gives you the ability to rewrite your story, to redefine your path, and to create a future that aligns with your deepest desires. It's a continual journey of growth, where every step forward is a victory, and every setback is a lesson that propels you to new heights. Unstoppable potential is the power that lies dormant within you, waiting for the moment you decide to unleash it. It is the limitless force that has been placed inside you, not for the easy days, but for the battles you will face. It's that quiet strength you may not fully realize you possess, yet it's there woven into every fiber of your being. It's the ability to rise, not just once, but every time you're knocked down. Unstoppable potential is what gives you the courage to keep moving forward when everything around you is falling apart. This potential doesn't come from external circumstances, it comes from within. It's the sum of every experience, every challenge, every hardship, and every victory that has shaped you. Your past struggles are not there to define you, they are the very things that have cultivated your resilience. Unstoppable potential is forged in the fire of adversity, tempered by pain, but made stronger by it. It's in the moments when you feel like you've reached your breaking point and yet find the strength to keep going. It's that moment when you refuse to accept defeat, knowing deep down that there is something more inside of you waiting to be unleashed. This potential is not limited by your circumstances, your background, or your current situation. It's not about where you've been, it's about where you are going. It's the belief that no matter how impossible the journey may seem, you have the power to overcome, to break through, and to rise above. Unstoppable potential is not about being perfect, it's about persistence. It's about moving forward, step by step, even when the road is rough, because you know that inside of you is something that can't be held back. Your potential is unique to you. It's a signature gift, something that no one else can replicate, and it is meant to be used to fulfill your purpose. You may not see it yet, but the moment you begin to tap into it, you will realize that there is nothing that can stand in your way. Every obstacle is simply a stepping stone, every challenge is a lesson, and every setback is just a setup for a greater comeback. Unstoppable potential is the engine that propels you forward, and when you begin to trust it, when you stop second guessing it, when you begin to believe in the power inside of you, nothing can stop you from reaching the heights you were meant to reach. Fearless flight is the act of soaring into the unknown with unwavering confidence, unburdened by the gravity of doubt, insecurity, or fear. It's the moment when you decide to spread your wings, trusting that you have everything you need to rise, even when the winds are unpredictable. Fearless flight doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. It takes off in the face of uncertainty, knowing that the journey itself will provide the strength needed to navigate through the storm. It's about making the decision to move forward, not in the absence of fear, but in spite of it. When you take a fearless flight, you are choosing to trust in your own ability to navigate life's turbulence. You may not always know the destination, but you believe with every fiber of your being that you have the capacity to reach it. Fearless flight is not just about escaping the ground, but about rising above the limitations others have placed on you and the ones you have placed on yourself. It's the freedom that comes with believing that no matter how high or how far you go, you are equipped for the journey. To fly fearlessly means to take risks, to step beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone, and to be bold enough to chase the dreams that others might deem impossible. It's the refusal to be tethered to the ground of mediocrity, to the chains of self-doubt, to the weight of past failures. Fearless flight requires you to shut down the voices of negativity and instead listen to the voice inside you that says, you are capable. You are ready. You are destined for something greater. Fearless flight doesn't require a map or a clear path. It requires faith. Faith that even when the skies are dark, the sun will rise again. It's knowing that the winds of life, no matter how strong, are not there to break you. They are there to carry you. Every gust that tries to push you down is just a reminder that you are stronger than the forces that seek to keep you grounded. Fearless flight is the courage to keep going even when the air is thick with doubt. Because you know that with every flap of your wings, you are moving closer to your purpose. To fly fearlessly is to embrace the freedom of the unknown. It's saying, I may not know exactly what's ahead, but I trust that my wings will take me where I need to go. It's letting go of the need for control and accepting that life's beauty lies in the journey, in the flight itself. Fearless flight is an act of surrender, a declaration that you are not afraid to trust yourself, to trust the process, and to trust the divine purpose that has already been set in motion.